I'm Michael Chitwood, and our family here at Chitwood and Chitwood has been representing ministers, churches, and nonprofit organizations now for over 75 years. God called me to take care of ministers and pastors and churches all across this nation. And I'm so glad that you have decided to join me for just a moment or two. You know, the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required. It also says this: if I can learn to trust you with just a few small things, then I will know that I can trust you with great and mighty things. I believe that every minister needs to be free of IRS compliance so that you can do what God has called you to do. I want you to take just a moment and listen to 3 of the most powerful stories that I have ever heard in my life. When you hear these stories, you will see that these 3 ministers just about didn't make it. Join me now as we go into our first testimony.
My name is Minister Cortez Miller. I was on my way to the federal penitentiary. My board was doing everything illegally and blaming it all on me. If I had not attended Dr. Michael Chitwood's clergy tax and law conference, I have no doubt that I would be in prison right now. His brochure came just in time. I want to thank Dr. Michael Chitwood for what he did for me, and I want to thank God for giving me a second chance. Minister Cortez Miller.
They were on their way to get me. They took all my financial records. I had no one to call except Dr. Chitwood. I saw him on television one night, and I remembered what he said: God cannot bless a mess. My church was out of order, except I didn't know it. Always remember, it's not the things that you know will hurt you, it's what you don't know. Dr. Chitwood saved my life, my family, my ministry. Get your house in order.
Hello, I'm Pastor Rod Phillips. I pastor Abba's House in Chattanooga, Tennessee, a church of around 5,000. Been there 32 years. And for years, Dr. Michael Chitwood has done my taxes. And for years, he said, Pastor, you need to come to my seminar. Pastor, you need to let me help you. I said, oh, that's all right. I'm fine. Not worried about it. Until the day the letter came to my mailbox that I was being audited by the IRS. Well, in a dead panic, I called Dr. Chitwood, and of course, having done my taxes, he would represent me, the accountants would go with me, and he tried to allay my fears a little bit about the audit, and certainly the experts here handled it very well with me. But because I had not learned from him, because I had not listened, because I had not taken advantage of all the wisdom of 70 years of taking care of preachers, ministries, and their taxes and the IRS, because I didn't listen, I had to pay. Nothing was wrong with the work that Chitwood had done for me, but I had not claimed the deductions I could have. I had not made the right moves I should have. And because of that, I had to write a check and had to learn a hard lesson. Well, shortly after that, I didn't talk to Dr. Chitwood about it. I show up at one of the seminars that he has, and I am astounded by what I begin to hear. And all of a sudden, I see that everything I paid, shouldn't have had to pay, and that if I'd have handled it right, if I'd listened to Dr. Chitwood, and if I'd have made all the material that he has, if I'd taken that in, if we'd learned it, I would have escaped a lot of the mess that I had to drag myself through. And then I found out this as well. Right now, and I think it's going to be true for the next decade, there's a target drawn on pastors and ministries, especially those who may have a little bit of outreach in their community. They know what they're doing over there. And I remember, and I'm not going to break any confidences to tell you this, but I can tell you this: what I claimed was right. I maybe didn't have it noted exactly right, but we had it documented. What I found out was there's a target drawn on the back of ministers and ministries right now. Without betraying any confidence, I can tell you from the inside of the IRS, and Dr. Chitwood knows this as well and has helped me with this, we found out that right now, if you're a minister, if you go to be audited, you're almost guaranteed that they're going to ask you to go to the next level. They're not going to approve anything that you've done. And I want to tell you, it's frightening. I had to have 3 meetings with the IRS. And when it was over, and after I went to the seminar, I gave a little witness at the seminar, guys, you better grab this stuff. Dr. Chitwood called me, and I said, can I have an appointment? And we sat down, me and him and my wife, and began to implement some of the things I should have done 25 years ago. I'm 64. It's no telling how much money that I could have invested in God's kingdom, that I could have invested in my family, that I have lost because I was stupid and ignorant when I had all the help in the world and a man available to help me. After meeting with Dr. Chitwood, I've now incorporated my own personal ministry. I've gotten all the books in order. Also, I didn't know this, but years ago, Dr. Chitwood had helped my executive pastor then, who's not with me anymore, but it helped him implement things at the church. So the church was fine. It was me that needed the help. And I want to encourage you right now to call Dr. Chitwood today. 7,000 ministries depend on him. And if I could call the names of some of them, it'd be a who's who of the ministries in America. Call today. Implement everything you need today. Protect your church today. I could tell you 3 pastors that are in jail right now because somehow they didn't intend for it to happen, but they mishandled money. They thought they were handling it right. They were ignorant. And I can tell you this, every month almost I get a letter, at least every quarter, from Dr. Chitwood with every update of IRS, with any ways that we can honestly save money. He keeps us informed. You need to be a client. You need to attach yourself to the man that knows. You say, well, we've got accountants. The average accountant, as trained as they are, doesn't have a clue about nonprofit and about ministry taxes. You may not know this, but there are over 50 legal deductions that you can take that you don't even know about. I was shocked when I saw it. Now, don't do like me. Don't wait till you're 64 years old. But if you are, jump in now, but don't wait. Right now, I'm talking about thousands of dollars over the next several years that can be available for use in your own ministry, in your church, to your family, and to enhance your own personal life. I want to encourage you to do something for yourself, for the kingdom of God. Call Michael Chitwood. Call his ministry today. Let him help you. Let him bring the years of experience to your church and to you personally. Let me add this about your church. I'm amazed at how many churches are not in compliance. You know, I go somewhere and speak, and I have to call and ask them for a 1099 so that I can keep my own books in order. You better be careful and make sure that not only your personal taxes, but your church situation's in line. Dr. Chitwood has all the experts, all the gifts, and all the material and all the information to make sure everything in your church is in order. And by the way, there are a few other ministries and accountants that do this kind of work, but I promise you they won't do it at the cost effectiveness that Chitwood will. So let me encourage you right now to do what Rod Phillips wishes he'd done 25 years ago. Call Michael Chitwood. Call him today.
You know, most people would never believe it, would they? I didn't believe some of this myself, but the IRS have become very aggressive against ministers, churches, and nonprofit organizations. I declare to you and promise that I will not let that happen. But you must get some information. You know, it says for lack of knowledge, you'll be destroyed. But it also says this, it's not what you know that will hurt you, it's what you don't know. I promise you that I'm there to help you, but you must do something. Don't let this DVD close with your hands closed. Pick up that phone right now, and I want you to call that number and just simply ask for a free brochure on our services at Chitwood and Chitwood. I know I can help you because God has called me to help you. And once we get your house of worship in order, and once you know that you're in compliance, you're going to be free to preach and to do more than you've ever done before. You know, I can sense the Spirit of God right here on this DVD with you. It's just you and me. We're talking one-on-one. And you know your house is out of order, don't you? And I know it's out of order. But I promise you, if you come with me, that I can get your house of worship in order. Remember, God cannot bless a mess. And I want you to go to levels that you know that you're supposed to be, because that is your destiny. I'm Michael Chitwood, and I promise you, and I give you my promise and my word, that if you will call me right now, that I will not fail you. I will help you and get your house of worship in order. I want you to attend one of our clergy tax and law seminars, because that's the basic foundation where we start teaching you and educating you, your board of trustees, your check writer, and anyone else that is involved in finances of the church, how to get started getting your house in order. And then I take it from there. And then you can outsource all of your work to us if you desire. I'm so glad that you took just a few moments to be with me today. And you know, I feel like I already know you, and I know that I will just as soon as you call. I'm going to be looking forward to hearing from you, and I know that you're going to do it right now. So call me, and I'll talk to you a little bit later. Until we meet again or talk again, this is Michael Chitwood, the President and CEO of Chitwood and Chitwood.